Let me tell you something probably most of you don't know. When the system goes down and the grid fails, and there's no longer any power, no grocery stores, no running water, it's not going to matter your social status, how much money you have, where you're from, what hood you come from, how many guns you got. None of that's going to matter. Everybody's going to be fighting for food and resources to keep their families alive. It doesn't matter what you have, how much you've prepped. Everybody's going to be coming for what you have. Yeah, you might be able to fight off a lot of people, but you can't fight everybody forever. This is going to be a nightmarish hell on earth. This is going to be a nightmarish hell on earth. This is going to be a nightmarish hell on earth.
Shall we begin?
Iran is not interested in negotiating with Trump or the U.S. regime. Iran is going to punish the United States, and we are in the process of doing it. This regime in Washington has tried to cross a bridge that's a bridge too far, and they're messing with the wrong country. We're not Venezuela, we're not Iraq, we're not Libya, we're not Afghanistan, and we're not Syria. This is the Islamic Republic of Iran, and we will make sure that the United States regrets the aggression against the Iranian people and the slaughter of children and the slaughter of innocent civilians and the murder of the leader. These are crimes against humanity, and the United States and its allies have imposed the law of the jungle upon the world, and they will come to regret it.
But Iran is not a military superpower either, and we are seeing the vast majority of drones and missiles being shot down by air defenses. I mean, surely Iran cannot win a military war and therefore has to go for some other kind of strategy in coming to a settlement.
Iran will defeat the United States. Time will tell. And our drones that are being fired are very old drones. Our missiles that are being fired are very old missiles. They're very inexpensive. And Americans are using up very expensive air defense systems. The Iranians know exactly what they're doing. We haven't even begun using our latest technology, and most of Iran's underground bases have not even been used yet. They have not even been opened up for operation. Iranians have been planning for this day ever since the invasion of Iraq. They knew that at some point the Epstein regime will go after Iranians, and therefore they've been preparing themselves for many years. We are fighting for our homeland and our sovereignty and our independence, and our crime is that we oppose the genocide that the British regime and the American regime and Western regimes have been supporting. And we are on the right side of history, and the United States is the aggressor, and we will punish the aggressor and make it regret its crimes against humanity.
What percentage of Iran's missile stocks remain?
The vast majority.
Because after last year's war, it was estimated that Iran had used up around 40% of its missiles. Are you saying that was replenished in the last few months?
Those numbers were always fake. Those numbers are provided by the Israeli regime to the media in order to convince foolish Americans that war against Iran is simple. This war was supposed to end in a day or two. The 12-day war was supposed to bring Iran down like a house of cards. That failed, this failed, and now the United States will have to pay the price. And if the United States escalates, that will mean that the most sensitive region in the world, the Persian Gulf, where a quarter of the world's energy comes from, everything could be destroyed. And if that happens, it doesn't even matter if the Strait of Hormuz is open or closed. It because there will be no oil or gas, and there will be no tankers. For Iran, this is a fight for survival. For the United States, this is a war of choice, a choice that has been imposed upon the American people by the Epstein class. We will expel the United States from our homeland, and we'll make sure that the United States never again thinks about aggression against our country. And we will not allow the Israeli regime to behave with impunity and to continue genocide against the Palestinian people.
You know, just now, I had a thought come across my mind. And I really have to ask you ladies, this is no offense intended at all. I really want to know. If you are so strong and independent, who's going to take care of you in your old age? Are you expecting your children, their children? You're going to put the burden on them to take care of you when you get older? Because this economy is not set up for single people right now. It's not set up for one household incomes. Everybody knows that. This economy is trash. It's only going to get worse. And so inquiring minds want to know, the feminist women and the strong independent women, do you have enough money to live for the rest of your life after you're unable to work when you get older? Or are you just going to live with your children or their children? You're going to put the burden on your relatives. It just came across my mind because it's like, wait a minute. That's not fair to these younger generations. It's not. And to the younger women who are listening to these these strong independent women saying, oh, you don't need a man, honey. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it, because yes, you do. You absolutely should be out here looking to couple up, looking for a husband. Okay? In old age, you do not want to be out in these streets living in a box. Unless y'all have money to retire for the rest of your life, I really do not understand the agenda of these feminist women. And not just feminists, but like the strong independent, I don't need a man women. Okay, sis, y'all might as well get your cardboard boxes now and write your sign now. Because the economy, like I said, is only going to get worse. So, couple up, find a husband.
The attacks today in two separate parts of the U.S. that have investigators searching for possible connections to the Middle East. First, at around 10:40 this morning, a former soldier in the Army Reserve opened fire on the campus of Old Dominion University, apparently targeting a class there for ROTC cadets. One person dead, two injured, and CBS News has learned that the suspected shooter had ties to terrorism, a prior conviction, in fact, for providing material support to ISIS. And then early this afternoon, news of another attack, this one in a suburb of Detroit, where a man armed with a rifle plowed a truck packed with explosives into a Jewish synagogue and school, and then got out of the smoking vehicle only to be stopped by the synagogue's on-site security. While both attacks are still being investigated tonight, they present a potential pattern. What could be the second ISIS-inspired plot in the U.S. and the fourth synagogue shooting worldwide in less than a week? Our reporting tonight, starting with CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarland. Scott, good evening.
Tony, good evening. More than 100 kids attend a school inside that synagogue. They were unhurt and safely escorted out as security repelled the attacker. The attacker was then killed. This happens as they beef up security around synagogues in communities big and small nationwide. Chaos at the Temple Israel Synagogue in West Bloomfield, Michigan, just before 1 p.m. when police were alerted to an active shooter situation. A man armed with a rifle rammed his car through the front doors that houses a preschool and a kindergarten.
He breached the building, drove down the hall, and he was engaged by security.
One armed security guard was struck by the vehicle while other guards immediately engaged the suspect in gunfire.
I can't tell you what he died of until we get a little further. We haven't actually gone into the car.
Black smoke could be seen billowing from the building as dozens of officers arrived at the scene and quickly locked down the area. Frightened parents ran to the school to pick up their children. CBS News has learned emergency responders found explosive materials in the suspect's vehicle.
Something ignited in the vehicle. That's a work in progress. We're, through an abundance of caution, clearing the vehicle for IEDs or any explosives.
It's still unknown why the synagogue was targeted. Temple Israel calls itself the nation's largest Reform synagogue with 12,000 members. It offers early childhood education and educational programs for families and adults. The FBI had led an active shooter training drill there just 6 weeks ago. The Bureau has been recently issuing a series of bulletins warning of increased targeting and threats against synagogues nationwide.
Terror. Yeah, it's horrible.
All across the country, Chicago to Cleveland, Tucson, New York, here in Washington, they have announced beefed up security and protection and police at synagogues in those communities. And Tony, they were ready with extra enhancements in Oakland County, Michigan before today.
And if you an American and currently living in America and hoping, wishing, praying, and cheering for the downfall and destruction of America, bro, you want